I'm awake.
Wow, it's been a minute since this setup.
I know.
It's like
I feel kind of
just
lonely.
the two of us.
I got no friends.
Wow, that was a great segue.
It was a great segue because that's exactly what we're talking about today.
Having no friends. Just kidding.
No, we're talking about what friends mean.
Just friendship in general. I feel like we can't really. Hey, we're not gonna what's that called?
Pigeonhole ourselves.
Pigeonhole ourselves.
Yeah.
Nah.
I wanted to start it off with like a trip down memory lane.
Let's go down there.
So you lived in the same house. You kind of grew up in the same house your whole life.
Yeah. Mid-low.
Do you remember who your first friend was?
Absolutely. Her name was Katie. She lived across the street from me, and she was my first friend because we were neighbors. From there, we kind of branched out, and I became friends with just a bunch of the guys that lived on my block. 4 of my best friends were 2 sets of brothers.
How old would you say you were at this point?
My Tita Val lived a block away from me, and across the street from her were these first 2 brothers. We'll call them L and D. Those are their first initials or whatever.
Okay.
I'm trying not to put real people
You
names.
want to put people on blast? I mean, I don't care.
I don't know. It's not even putting people on blast. It's there's certain things that just
Keep to yourself.
what's L and D? L and D, you know who you are.
Wow.
You 2 were 2 of my first real friends because they lived across the street from my Tita Val and Nong Nong, and we would do everything together. I mean, we'd play basketball, skate, we'd make ramps and do jumps on our BMX bikes. The other set of brothers, we'll call them R&D.
Research and development.
Not to be confused with that. We'd play basketball, we'd play street hockey sometimes, skate, ride bikes. Those were my first experiences with friends and friendships.
Right. I feel like as a kid, that age, super young, all it really needs for somebody to be your friend is they do stuff outside that you're doing.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that much deeper than that.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And then
For sure.
it's as you hit puberty and you start trying to find an identity, then all of a sudden, all these other things come into play and, stuff matters and judgment and, what somebody wears or how much money they have or where they live. All these other things matter to you.
I do want to rewind because those were the friends I made, via location.
Yeah.
But because, with my family, they had all their Filipino friends. That's how I made all of my, fake Filipino cousin/friend family thingy. Those were my friends, too. I mean, we went on family vacations together, just did all the family parties and picnics and did all that type of stuff. So.
And it's kind of, still dictated by your parents at that point.
Totally.
Who your friends are, in a way.
Yeah. And I remember there were certain, family parties that my parents would go to that I didn't want. I was like, you can play with so-and-so. I'm like, I don't really want to. So I'd be there attached to my mom and dad at the party.
Yeah.
I'm good. Why don't you go play? I'm like, I'm okay.
Nah.
I'll just sit right here with you. How about you?
I moved a lot. So when I was a kid, I had these friends in kindergarten and junior high and stuff. Not junior high, in kindergarten and first to 3rd grade. And this was when we still lived in the city. I literally have no idea what happened to them. I couldn't even look them up if I wanted to because they have super basic names.
Yeah, I'm still friends with that's unfortunate.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of friends that I have now.
We need to find them.
They've known each other for a long time, and I'm
Find them.
salty because I couldn't even do that if I wanted to. But most of my oldest current friends are people that I met in junior high, but it doesn't go back beyond that. In junior high, it was really about being cool at a point because
Totally.
I just wanted to be popular and not be a loser. Because I spent some of it being a loser, and I just didn't want to do that. And then it took me a while to learn, what real friends were. And it kind of, was somebody who wasn't that, who wasn't, judging me or whatever, and cared about me as a person. And it was a weird place to be because I had just moved to a new place at, 12. Moved to a new town. And so you're in this spot where, nothing is really real unless it already was established. So I was like the new kid in a new place around new people, and nobody knew how to take me.
Were you
So
like shy growing up, or did you try to make friends at that time?
I was like really shy, and it was weird because like when I got to that school, people were coming to me, and I think it was because like there wasn't that many black kids in that school, so like people started coming to me, and I took it as like, oh, like I'm cool and I'm gonna have friends now, and I started kind of being like an ass to other kids because like really it was like a self-defense mechanism to not like end up down like not cool, you know what I'm saying? By the time I found like my real friends, I kind of learned what it really meant to be like a good friend to somebody. That period of time where you're like finding yourself, I think it got really jacked up because of the people I was hanging out with were I wasn't with them for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? Because they all knew each other since the beginning of time. Like they all grew up together, and I was just like new, trying to act like them, but I wasn't them. You know?
Dude, same. What age is this?
This was like 7th, 8th grade.
7th, 8th. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that happened to me later.
Like in high school?
Yeah, because like I loved my middle school and junior high.
I mean, I liked it, but like in retrospect, I kind of look at it and I'm like, I didn't know who I was at all. And like a lot of people that I spent time like making fun of or like talking shit about, like are people that would probably be my best friends now, or like people who I probably had way more in common with at the time, but I was so busy trying to like put up this facade to like
Yeah.
not be lame. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
I didn't really know what it was like to have like friends like that. Like I just thought you just have to fight for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
I had a lot of the same friends through like from kindergarten all through 8th grade. That community of friends was just super tight. We were just always like hanging out together and kind of going through a lot of firsts and stuff with one another, you know, like first kiss, first. I wasn't that fast tracked, so that didn't happen to me until like high school, but
Did you have like somebody around that time, that like junior high era, that was like your ride or die, like right hand, like you guys did everything together kind of thing?
I don't think it was just one. It was like a handful. I would say I had multiple best friends during that time, for sure.
So did they stay the same when you got to high school, or did it like switch up?
No, it kind of switched. It switched up because some people went to different high schools. So the people that ended up going to the same high school I went to, like, yeah, we stayed close or whatever. But then I also developed more relationships and friendships with people that I didn't know from elementary and that came from, oh my gosh, the public schools.
Because you went to a Catholic school before that?
Yeah.
Was your high school a Catholic school?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. That was a joke, by the way. Take it personal.
So in high school, like, what did it mean for somebody to be your, like, what qualified as like I'm friends with this person as opposed to like I know them?
Just somebody I was hanging out with and somebody that I could like talk to and write notes to, because we were still doing that back then. Just going through the hall, like passing each other a note and stuff like that. Just sharing yourself with somebody, driving around together, smoking a blunt while driving around together.
Because like when I was in high school, I had like my friends, most of whom I'm still friends with now.
Nice.
But like, I don't know. I don't think that they felt the same way necessarily. But for me, it was kind of like, these are my people. Like everybody else, I don't care. And I was very like anti, I think, to anybody outside of like this group that I had. And I felt like, I don't think that we were like misfits, but it was cool to me that we weren't like a designated clique. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, we're us. Because I felt like I had been burned in junior high by that. Like
with like cliquey stuff?
Yeah, like I didn't want to be part of that. And like, so in high school, I was very like proud of that. I had my own like circle, you know?
No, I absolutely, like that, it feels so good, you know? Like it did feel great, like knowing where you're going to sit at lunch, as cliche as that is in every Hollywood teen high school movie. But it was really cool to have that. Or just knowing what you were doing on the weekend. It was like, I knew who I was hanging out with, what I was doing on the weekend. I think what's interesting is that because I'm gay, that affected a lot of my relationships because I was trying to figure out what this was. I went through different pockets. Like I was going to Zero Gravity, this like teen nightclub a bunch because I felt maybe I fit in here because I didn't like there was nothing wrong with my group of friends. I loved all of them. I think I had always had fun, but I still felt out of place and I didn't know what that was. So I was like, let me go to Zero Gravity and let's try this out and see what's happening over here. And we were able to vibe just off dancing and just that common ground of going to dance somewhere and stuff. But still, I mean, that didn't even last either. And it's like looking back at things, I understand more why I did certain things that I did.
It's like, to me too, I think an important thing about friends was like a trust thing, because I felt like there were so many people around me that would be like, so and so is my friend, but like the next week they'd be like, oh my god, this bitch said this about me, or like they try to take my boyfriend or my girlfriend or whatever, and you're like, that wasn't your friend, dog. or they got me arrested or like whatever it was. It was like, that's not even that. Why does that even count? But I feel like I was lucky in the sense that I got around people that really understood that and like weren't sociopaths in a sense where they were just like throwing whoever under the bus, or at least my bullshit-ometer was strong enough to like avoid that. But it's funny how like in high school, certain things like small things like sitting with somebody at lunch or like what are you doing on the weekend, like that right now are so mundane, are really important to you at the time because you have so much downtime. Like right now you don't really care who sits with you at lunch because I have shit to do.
A lot of the times I like sitting by myself during lunch. Like I'll go to lunch by myself, like that's my time, don't talk to me. Your friendships when you're in high school, you're really just learning how to interact as young adults. So you're trying all these things out.
Because I was going to say college after high school is like another tier. Where like, because when you go to college, like all your high school friends that you grew up with probably go to different schools or they do something else or whatever.
And I will say though, for the record, like there are friends of mine all the way from, grade school, elementary, who I still consider best friends of mine. And we might only talk like twice a year, but I know that if I needed them and I called them, like they would be there for me, you know what I mean?
I mean, I was gonna get there too. Like for me, all these different phases, kind of like I recruited people from these different parts of my life that have like stayed through, and they all mean something to me for like different reasons because they were part of like my growth in like these different stages.
Absolutely.
And like even if somebody who I was best friends with in junior high, like I don't talk to as much now, it doesn't really matter because we have that like bond is permanent regardless.
That's how I honestly feel with a couple of a few of them actually. A few of the girls I went to high school with, we've reconnected recently via Facebook or Instagram and just we're talking, and it's like when I talk to them, like, no time has passed. We don't really skip a beat, even though we're both in completely different parts of our lives, and we're our lives are completely different, but we have that established bond.
A thing that me and you both have experienced is like moving, and it's like when you move away, you kind of move away from your family, friends, like everything that's familiar, and then you're in a new place and you kind of have to start over, and like you're doing it. For me, I was doing it like in my late 20s. And it was super weird. And I realized that, like, because I had the same friends for so long, I forgot what it was like to have to be the new guy. Because I always had these people to go back to. Because I got to a point where I didn't even care about making friends or, like, even being friendly, per se. Because I was like, I already got friends.
You already have friends, so you're like, why do I have to make new ones?
Yeah, I'm like, unless you're trying to pay me, like, I don't really care what you're talking about. Like, I got to that point, and then I came out here, and I was just like, man, this is kind of like jarring.
It's starting over. When I came out here, I came out with one of my best friends, who's still one of my best friends to this day. And we knew one other person who actually is also from my hometown, but we never really spoke. Like we weren't really friends back home. Like we were cool, but we weren't really friends. Yeah. But then a mutual friend who helped me move out here kind of linked us up, and then we became friends after that. But it really is starting over. You go to these work functions and then you try to meet people, and literally from there is how I met the friends that I have now. Which even that has changed. I mean, everything has changed.
I remember, like, when I was younger, when I was, like, in junior high, I asked my dad if, like, how come he didn't have any friends? And he was like, what do I need friends for? He's like, I got a whole family. Like, I don't need
I guess that's...
And it's like, as you get older, you kind of, like, it gets harder to keep up with people.
Man.
And then people start going in their own other directions. And I feel like if my friends weren't as close to me as we are, because I feel like they're, like, family members, you know? But if they weren't, I probably wouldn't keep up with them like that. And not because I don't like them, but just because I'm out here and, like, we're all doing totally different stuff, and it'd probably be really easy for me to just be like, if I wasn't so tight with them. And I think there's a lot of people that make it into adulthood that aren't lucky enough to have, like, 10 plus, like, best friends. You know what I'm saying? So they just kind of it's easy for them to walk away from it. And then when you get older, you just kind of, like, you're on your own thing, like, trying to do whatever you're trying to do. And it's like, being friends with somebody is like, whatever.
Yeah, no.
It's like work.
But that's what I was about to say. It is work.
Yeah.
You know, keeping up any type of relationship, whatever type of relationship it is, it's work because it takes time. For me, I feel like it's constantly changing. The one thing that's always been constant has been my family. They are my best friends.
I'm a fake cousin now, by the way.
No, he is. Yeah.
Since I'm half Filipino.
I mean, we're doing
I don't know if you guys
a friendship
knew that.
episode. He's one of my best friends. So.
I'm an honorary Filipino, too.
And an honorary Filipino. Yes. I mean, even our friendship has ebbed and flowed. I mean, when we first started to even be around with each other, it was purely work. Tony and I didn't hang out. We didn't do any of that stuff. And then when we started working at Ruby Hornet together, we still weren't hanging out, and we still weren't really friends.
I mean, yeah.
Not like that. Like, we were friendly, but we weren't doing social things with one another. We were literally just working. I was like, Tony needs to come to LA. Because I couldn't stop thinking about him. Like, he needs to come to LA. He needs to come to LA. Campaigning for Tony to come to LA. He's coming to LA. Come to LA. 5 years later,
I
jumped.
got the balls to do it.
He did. He came. And then...
But then when I came out here, like, you're the only person I knew.
Yeah.
And which, like, that's kind of part of the thing. It's like, it's somebody that you know, but no, you're not,
really,
like, best friends with them. And, like, when you're put in a situation, that's another thing, too, where, like, it kind of will tighten a friendship is, like, traveling or, like, being somewhere where you kind of have to rely on this other person. Like,
right.
You automatically get tighter. Like, you don't have a choice.
But even then, even when he first moved out here, like, we hung out a little bit, and then I introduced him to, you know, my friends out here, but then he was hanging out with my friends more than we were even hanging out at that time, right? Like,
I was too enamored by LA and, like, wanted to go hang out at all the places. And then I realized it's the same shit. It just costs more. Like, so now I'm just trying to get this money, so.
Now we're on the same page.
Yeah, now we're finally on the same page. How about that?
Yay! But it was literally just like what, like last year?
Basically.
BFFs now. BFF AF. Okay?
One of the main things that sparked this conversation, speaking of.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's get it.
Is this show that one of my best friends, Dana, put me on called Pen 15 that's on Hulu. And you should watch it because it's all about being in seventh grade. And these two women that are like our age are playing seventh graders immaculately. And it just took me back to like 2000 and what life was like when you're trying to figure out who you are and your friends are pretty much the only thing you got to lean on. And it makes you realize like how brutal like school is.
No, absolutely.
Like,
and how essential friendships are throughout your entire lifetime of just getting you through certain things. Like, I have friends who, like, in my life have been there for me through so much shit. Whether it's like the shit I went through in middle school, you know, because everything's perspective. Like, whatever was dramatic in middle school might not be dramatic anymore. But during that time, you know, they were there to lift you up or make you laugh or help you and stuff. So I think to me, I'm just thankful for all the friendships that I've had and that I continue to have, and ones that ebb and flow even, and ones that I reconnect with, which I recently just connected with a friend, and it feels great. It feels good, because I think when you get older, you start to realize, like, sometimes when you can't mend a relationship, it all boils down to kind of like an ego. It's like, who's going to break? Are you going to break first? Are you apologizing? Well, you did this. No, you did that. But you did this, and you did that, and you did this, and you did that. And at the end of the day, like, none of that stuff matters. Yeah. If you value the friendship, then you move forward from it. Own up to your faults, and then keep it moving.
And the thing is, too, if it's a real friend, like, it won't stay that way anyways. Because at the end of the day, you're going to want to repair it. So it's not going to be like you're holding it against them. And, like, some of my friends, like, they do stuff that literally everybody hates. But, like, we all love each other
gets
to
under
a point.
His skin. I know, because I hear it.
But, like, at the end of the day, it's not like we don't love these people.
Absolutely.
Despite whatever their stupid shit is. Because
we all have that.
They love us despite of our own stupid shit. So
Absolutely.
It's like, it is what it is.
We all have stupid shit.
So I just want to say to my friends, you guys know who you are, that I love you guys.
It's me too. I'm included in that.
Yeah. And I'll be home soon for my birthday. It's about to be lit. And,
we also have back-to-back birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. May, June.
Wow. So summertime is coming, and people need to come out to LA and hang out. Let's do it. I'm not going to be poor anymore.
Let's do it. Let's all be friends. Tag a friend. Tag your best friend.
Yeah.
Tag someone you want to reconnect with.
Yeah.
Because that's always fun, and I love that. And I am going to make it a priority to try to be a better friend, too. Because your girl ain't perfect, okay? I get it. I might have been not the best friend to some people, and I'm going to try my best to change that.
Yeah.
Try to find that balance. Be a
Balance.
friend.
That's
so
key.
I had people to
Go
have
to
dinner with.
All right.
Inside joke. Y'all probably didn't really understand that little cackle, but here we go. And we're off.
Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. We got some new dope guests coming up.
Yes. It's going to be fun, guys.
It ain't over.
And we got some new content ideas that we're going to be trying out, too. So, super stoked. Thank you for rocking with us.
I'm addicted to hot sauce now. Night-night.
Not I. Bye.